Yesterday in Paris in her robbery case. We have so much happening in the courts all over the world. So here to break it all down for us is criminal defense attorney Jess Ledingham. Jess, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I want to begin with the Diddy case. There are several charges that he's facing: sex trafficking, racketeering, also transportation for the purposes of prostitution. My question to you is, out of all of the charges, which one do you think will be the highest hill to climb for the prosecution, and which one do you think that you believe has the strongest chance for a conviction?
Each charge that Diddy is being charged with is very serious. However, I think that with the transportation of prostitution, that is the easiest one for the prosecution to win, because he would hire sex workers to come and have sex with Cassie. And he says, oh, I was hiring them for their experience. Well, yes, their experience as a sex worker. So, and he would move them over state lines. I think that's going to be an easy one for the prosecution to win. I think the other two are going to be very difficult to win, especially the racketeering. The racketeering, we're not having co-conspirators. He was giving money to people around him. Well, that's going to be hard to prove that it's a conspiracy, that it was a criminal enterprise, when he was just covering up his sexual predilections. Then the third charge. This is going to be the one that I think is difficult for the prosecution to win, because they have to convince 12 jurors that he coerced his 2 longtime girlfriends and 1 former employee, that they were coerced to do these freak-offs. And that is a really difficult thing to do, because Cassie yesterday said, I loved him. I did this because I loved him. Today and tomorrow and possibly even the next day, the defense is going to pounce on her for loving him. How can it be coercion if you loved him?
Explosive start, but we still have cross-examination, too, that we'll be watching closely as well. Shifting now to the Menendez brothers, who have just been resentenced. What do you believe played a key role in that ruling, and what happens next?
This is a case that has captured the Americans' eyes for 3 decades. When it started back in the 90s, they were saying TV videos, TV movies of how they were these greedy children. And even in the second trial, they could not bring in evidence that they were sexually abused. Well, now we fast forward 30 years later, cultural shift has changed with sexual abuse to young men. And people, especially TikTok, say, well, maybe there was something here. And then you have the California resentencing guidelines. So I think it's because our culture has really changed.
Lastly, and we're running out of time, Kim Kardashian, did anything stand out to you yesterday? I know I noticed her talking about, hey, this was not staged, and that stood out to me.
Yes, well, her jewelry really stood out because she was sending a message to them. She even had a commercial for her new show where she's an attorney come out yesterday. So she was really saying, I'm here and I survived.
Yeah, and I'm no longer afraid.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jess Ledingham, thank you so much for that quick wrap. We got to bring you back on these cases as they continue.